Okay, so now the user interface section is all finished for our business card project. Let's now move on to the styling and also add a bit of JavaScript to get this working. So head back over to brackets, and then we need to start in the style.css. So the first thing I want to do is move the level 1 heading into the center and just make it a little bit more spaced out. So H1, and then add some text alignment to the center and also some padding, so 20 pixels on the top and bottom and 0 on the left and right. And then let's add some styling to the business card. So in the index page, we'll give the business card a ID of card, so we can use that inside of the CSS. So let's give it some width of 400 pixels, a height of 250 pixels, and then a border to go around the business card of 1 pixel and a solid line, and then just a little bit of padding of 10 pixels, and this will keep all the text within the outside edge. So now it just looks a little bit more like a business card, and in fact we'll just put a horizontal rule just above your name. So back into the index page, let's just put a HR after the company message. So there's just a faint horizontal rule just to separate the company name with the person's information. So now let's add some styles to the background section of the form. So we'll give this form section a custom class of background. So let's use that in the style.css. So let's give it a background color of a light grey color, which is EEE, and a little bit of padding of 30 pixels, and then some margin on the bottom. And this is going to be set to 30 pixels, and this is just for the mobile view. So when the form is stacked on top of the business card, it will just keep a little bit of distance between the two, and then save that. So now we've got a slight background color to separate the form section from the business card. So that's looking a little bit better now. We've got the user interface all completed, and we've added some styling to make it look a little bit nicer. So now let's move on to adding some JavaScript to actually getting this to work. So we want the user's input from the left to then appear on the right hand side, and then populate the business card so the user can see exactly what their card will look like. So let's go into the custom.js, and we can create the functions that we created inside the index page. So the first one we need to do is print company. So this is the first function to create. So just copy that and then go over to the custom.js. So function print company. Okay, so what exactly do we want this function to do? Well, if we take a look at our index page, what we want the function to do is to grab the HTML element on the right hand side. So we need to do a document.getElementById. So this is output company, and then we need to change the inner HTML to be the contents of the input company on the left hand side. So let's do that now. So document.getElementById. So we need to grab the output company, and then we need to set the inner HTML to then be equal to the input company dot value. So let's save that and see if that's working okay. So refresh. So now we should be able to type a company name inside there. And because we used onKeyUp as the event handler, we can now see the contents displayed on the right hand side, and this triggers a function every time a key is pressed. So let's move on now to the company message. So just copy this function and then we can paste it below. So the function was called print message, and then the element that we wanted to grab was output message. So we're setting the inner HTML of output message to be input message. And then next, instead of the inner HTML, we need to change the CSS to change the background color and also the text color. So function, and the function name was change BG. And of course, if you used any different function names in the index page, just change them accordingly inside the JavaScript file. Okay, so to begin with, we need to grab the value, or the user's input value, and I'm going to store that inside a variable called BG color. So the BG color is equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID we want to grab is the input BG, and then dot value. So now we've got the user's input value stored inside the variable called BG color. So now we can set the business card side. So document dot get element by ID, and the ID we want to grab. So the background color we want to change is the full business card section, and this had the ID of card. So add card into there, and then dot style, dot color, and then we're going to set this equal to the user's input, which is stored inside this variable. So paste that in there with the semicolon, and then let's check that's working okay. So go to the background color and select the background that you want. That's actually changing the color of the text, so we just need to change style.background. So save that, and then now when we change the color, you should change the background color rather than the text. So there we go. So that little mistake there should give you a clue on how we're going to do the text color next. So copy this function and then paste that, and the function is change text. So just like before, this can be a variable called text color, and then the input we want to grab is input text. So this is grabbing the value that the user has selected. So then again, document.get element by ID, and we'll select the full business card, and then the style needs to have the color property, and this is going to be equal to the variable of text color. So let's just check that. So the background color is working fine, and then the text color, okay, good, that's all changing. So let's just refresh that. Okay, so now these colors are all working. We'll leave this video there before it gets too long, and come back in the next video where we'll finish off all the rest of the JavaScript for the project.